are taking their second to last language arts test. Warning, I repeat, the 7th graders are taking their second to last language arts test. Be prepared for tears and lots of sadness as they look to wrap up their 7th grade year of language arts. That's pretty awesome. Not as awesome as this cool, not sure what it is, but it's pretty awesome. It's got flowers and stuff on it. Anyways, today is our study day, and this is our second to last language arts book, so you guys are almost done with 7th grade language arts. One more book after this. Give yourselves a little quiet round of applause. All right, today we're just gonna go over a couple things that I wanna make sure we know for our test. I'm not gonna go over everything on your checklist, but once again, make sure you study hard, study over your checklist. Go over all these. If you know all of these, perfect. You should ace your test because this is all stuff you want to know for your test. I'm going to go over some things. We're going to start with gerund phrases. Do you guys remember how to identify those and how they function in a sentence, things like that? We're going to go over that on, let me get to my spot. So we're going to underline our phrase, and then I want you guys to tell me how it's functioning within our sentence. So the first one I have, origami is the art of folding paper in figures. Jordan, tell me where our gerund phrase is in that. Remember, our gerunds always end in ing. So Jordan, if you said this right here, you are correct. And Ashlyn, how is it functioning in our sentence? Origami is the art of folding paper in different figures. Right here, it would be functioning as our object of our preposition, okay? This of would be our preposition, and there would be our prepositional phrase. The next one, I have one of Uncle Leon's hobbies is building furniture. Adrian, where is our participle phrase in this one? Right here, right? And Wyatt, I want you to tell me how it is functioning in our sentence. Predicate nominative, right? Because here is our linking verb, and this is linking what his hobby is, which would be building furniture. So this would be our predicate nominative. And for the last one, we have blowing out others' candles won't make yours shine any brighter. That's some really good wisdom. But anyways, Michaela, where is our gerund phrase in that sentence? Right there, right? And Jaden, can you tell me how it is functioning within our sentence? Our subject, right? It would be functioning as our subject. And Patrick, tell me what a compound sentence is, since I left you out. All right, correct. A compound sentence is two independent clauses that stand on their own, okay? And we're gonna jump to the next thing. The next thing we're gonna cover a little bit of is our compound and our complex and our compound complex sentences. So you guys remember our compound sentence has two independent clauses, so two sentences that have a subject and a verb and can stand on their own. They're not depending on the other part of our sentence. A complex sentence, remember, it's complex, so it has one independent, and then it has our independent clause. It has one independent, it has our dependent clause, which our dependent clauses are introduced by our relative pronouns and our subordinating conjunctions. So, complex has a dependent and independent. So our compound complex sentence, for instance, up here on the board, the wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as lions. So let's just start. Is there any dependent clause? Is there any subordinating conjunction or relative pronoun in our sentence? We should have had this right here as our dependent clause, because when is our subordinating conjunction? When no man pursueth will be our dependent clause. The wicked flee. Does that make sense on its own? Yeah, right? The wicked flee. That can stand on its own. but, remember what but is? But would be our conjunction. Okay, so that means that it's adding, we have two sentences because they're, remember, conjunctions connect words, phrases, or sentences. The righteous are bold as lions. Does that make sense on its own? If I would say the righteous are bold as lions. Yeah, it can stand on its own. So here we have an example of a compound complex sentence, all right? The wicked flee and the righteous are bold as lions would be two independent clauses, and then when no man pursueth doesn't really make sense on its own. So it's depending upon our other part of the sentence to make sense, okay? Make sure you know what your simple sentences, your compound sentences, your complex sentences, and your compound complex sentences all consist of, okay? I think that went over that on in your self-check. It did. Numbers 19 through 22, it covered it really good, and numbers 23 through 26. Make sure you study over those. Also, numbers 1 through 8 in your self-check, be sure you study over those and make sure you know what the different parts of speech are and how they're used within our sentence, okay? That is all I'm going to go over for this video. I'm going to take this ridiculous thing off. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys tomorrow for your test.